And so if we look at this parent, this is a typical dihybrid cross. Let me tell you what the letters stand for. The R stands for round pea seeds, and the Y stands for yellow seeds. If it's the recessive, that stands for wrinkled, and if it's a little y, that stands for green. And so we're looking at a dihybrid, so that means two traits. We're looking at seed shape, round or wrinkled, and seed color, yellow or green. So now we have to do a dihybrid cross. And so the tendency, if we look at this parent, the tendency is to see that there are 4 letters over here, there's 4 boxes over here, and then you just simply write them out. Big R, big Y, little y, and then you get a weird answer and you don't know what to do with it, okay? That's wrong. That's a mistake, okay? Whenever you're figuring out the gametes, remember that you have to give one of each letter. In other words, each of the gametes is going to have one of each of the alleles. And so let me clear this mess out of the way. So what do we do? Let's say this parent right here. And I'm going to write it up here so it makes a little more sense. Big R, big Y, little y. What possibilities could they produce? So they're giving one of each letter, remember. Well, they could give the big R and the big Y. So big R, big Y. That'd be one possibility. They could also give the big R and the little y. So they could give the big R, little y. They could also give the little r, big Y, or the little r, little y. Since they're giving one of each color, there's only one of each letter, excuse me, there's only 4 possibilities that they can give. So it's getting to be kind of a mess, but those are the 4 right here. And so those 4 are going to go across the top. So we got big R, big Y, big R, little r, big Y, little r, little y. So those are the 4 gametes that you could produce. In other words, with this parent, you can only get 4 combinations of each of the 2 letters. Same thing down this side. So it's going to be same thing on written down this side because this other parent is going to be exactly the same. Okay, so it would take me a long time to write all of those out. So let me throw those in here. So these would be the parents, all the possible gametes you could get. And if I fill those in, these first 9, if you look at them, let me get a color. It's different. Let me grab a yellow color. And so this one right here is going to be round and it's going to be yellow. So it's going to be round and yellow. And this one you can see it's going to be round and yellow and round and yellow and round and yellow. And yellow and round and yellow and round and yellow and round and yellow and round and yellow. In other words, 9 of them are going to be round and yellow in shape. And the only reason why is that the R is dominant, and so you could have one like this where they're hybrid for both and they're still going to be round and yellow. And so let me try to add the next ones. So what about these next ones? Well, the next ones are going to be round and green. So let me get a different color. So these ones are going to be round and green because the round is dominant, but they don't have the dominant for the yellow, so they're not going to be. Let me get rid of that. Let's add the next ones. So these ones are going to be wrinkled and yellow. So again, I got to get a different pen. So these ones are going to be wrinkled and yellow. And then if we look at the last one, it's going to get all of the recessive alleles. And so that one's going to be getting green. It's going to be green and wrinkled. Okay. And so when we say there's a 9 to 3 to 3 to 1 ratio, that's just a typical dihybrid cross. We're going to have 9 of the phenotypes that are round and yellow, 3 of the phenotypes that are round and green, 3 of the phenotypes that are yellow and wrinkled, and then only 1 of the ones that's not. And that's only going to work if you are able to set up your gametes correctly on the side. Now it's super hard for you to answer a question like this on a test. You're rarely going to have to draw a dihybrid cross, but it's important that you understand the concept of it because most of the genes inside your body are not caused by one gene, they're caused by multiple genes. So how tall you are is caused by probably a dozen different genes inside your body. So you can imagine how big the Punnett square is going to be for that. An example of that I'll leave you with would be this one. So let's say we have a parent here, and the parent is big R, big Y, little y. little r, little r, little y, little y. The question I'm asking you is, how big would your Punnett square have to be? And so you're going to have to figure out what are all the possible gametes that you could get from both of those, and then draw it out, figure out all the possibilities you can get. If you're thinking it's going to be a 4 by 4, you're doing way too much work. And so those are Punnett squares, and I hope that's helpful.